I wouldn't advise anybody to go to an acting school. I would advise them to go to an Amitabh Bachchan set. I think that's... but you haven't done theatre.
You know, amateur theatre, everybody's done that kind of stuff. But
so, like acting on stage, would you call that something you would enjoy?
I would, but not now. I won't be able to do it now.
Why not?
Because I'm scared. It's tough to be on theatre. It's very tough. I won't remember my lines. That's to start off with. But
you have an elephant's memory, and
no. It's really tough to be able to do theatre. I admire all the people that do it.
I've seen you learn a 4-page monologue in like 1 hour, and it was word to word. That's another question I always wanted to ask you: is do you always stick to the script, the dialogues, or do you like to improvise?
No, I stick to the script because I just feel that the writer is the most important person in a film. He's not just a writer, he's an actor, he's a director, he's a set designer, and he's a music director. Because when he writes those lines, he imagines everything. And it's the toughest job to do. So if he's written something, he's gone through this entire process, and he's gone through this process with his director, with everyone. And I feel it's very disrespectful to say, hey, this is rubbish. You know, I'm going to say what I feel like saying. I just want to respect that.
So never thought of direction?
Oh, no.
Why not?
I don't know how to direct. I don't know how these people do it.
I mean, to direct is to tell a story, right? And I'm sure you'll have some story to tell us.
No, but to tell a story through a lens, that's tough. How do you know where to put a trolley or a crane, what lens to use, and where to walk? How to tell the artist, you know, I want you to do this here and do this there. I'm unable to do that.
Can you write a story though?
I've never tried.
Never tried. Because it happens to me, you know, that I wake up one day, if I'm going to sleep, I get this really exciting, inspiring idea, and I share it with a couple of people and they react very well to it. And then I just get lazy and I can't take it anywhere because I don't have the knack of writing. Because I think writing is a skill which you're either born with or you're not. You can't really develop it. So that's why I wanted to ask you, did you ever write a story? Did you ever come close to writing a script?
No, but you know, this is a great quality. And I'm glad that you shared this with me because if you do have these moments, you know, I would, even if you're in the middle of the night, just get up, put on the lights, speak it out. Now we have wonderful instruments. Just speak it out, record it. Give it to somebody if you're not writing it. Give it to a friend of yours who is a writer. And say, these are my thoughts. Can you write something on it? And you never know, something very valuable may come out of it.
Singing and dancing with heroines in Ooty and Kashmir and all of that, or you're happy you're done with that?
It's a terrible labor. And I hate it. And because I had to do it as my profession, you know, I've just gone along with it. And there were a couple of incidents in the earlier part of my career when I was asked to do a song and I was replaced from that film because I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance, I couldn't move. So I think that has remained like a stigma for me. But I hate it when I have to do a song and I have to do movements. And the kind of stuff that you guys do now is impossible. I mean, how can different parts of your body move in different directions?
Well,
and still be in rhythm and
Sara Zamana, Hasino Ka Divana, also different muscles and parts of moving.
Nothing at all. You just had a guitar and just some dark glasses so you don't see anybody. And you're just strumming the guitar and just moving very simple steps. But, you know, to watch you doing all your steps, gosh, it's impossible. I can never do that.
So another query I had, or help I needed, is that my personal life is being written a lot about.
Yeah.
You know, and mostly the negative side of it, or they portray me as this cad or this, this flirt or whatever. How do I get out of that? Because
that's always going to happen because negative sells like mad. He's a good boy. He goes home at 6 in the evening. He has his dinner.
The truth.
Sits with his parents and just relaxes.
Oneself.
He's a cad. He finished his shooting. He went to see this girl, picked her up. He was drunk. He was doing this. That's headlines. You have to contend with that.
Do you have any memory of Raj Kapoor? Did you ever interact with him? Did you meet him?
Oh, yes.
Were you about to work with him?
Yeah. Your family, much before you knew me and much before you were born, were very close with my father. Right from the time of Prithvirajji and my mother. And Prithvirajji was, with his Prithvi theatres, used to travel all over the country. And every time he came to Allahabad to perform, we would meet up and he would come over to the house. And he was fond of my father's poetry. So after every performance, the whole crew and the cast of the theatre that he was performing in would sit in the green room and would listen. He would call over my father and would listen to his poetry almost throughout the night. That's the kind of association we had. Subsequently, of course, when I wanted to join films, obviously there were many social events where I came to meet Rajji and Shashiji and Shamiji. And always there was a reference and talk about Prithvirajji and the old times. So there was always an association.
Right.
But I never got to work with him. I saw him working. But it was the greatest moment when he was a part of a song in Naseeb. And we shot this song together. And it was wonderful. But we kept meeting, and shooting in RK, he was always there. We used to be in awe of the cottage. And his white ambassador car that used to come in, and the way he would get out and get into the cottage. And we used to watch from a distance. And we used to imagine, what is inside that cottage? When will I get an opportunity to just go and have a peek inside this place? Or to go up to the preview theatre. And that used to be one of the greatest things. Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, with whom Rajji did a lot of films.
He's also who launched you, right?
Yeah, I did my first film with him. So when he made Saath Hindustani with me, he had a few dubbings to do. And for some reason, he chose to do the dubbing at the RK Preview Theatre. I said, gosh, this is it, boy. This is the ultimate. So first time we actually entered that Preview Theatre.
So dubbing.
And you got an introduction and said, that front couch, don't even touch it, because Rajji sits there when he sees all his films, and this is the editing room where he does the editing. So these are all great moments for us. And then slowly, because, we were working in many films and Rajji came to know about me, we started getting invited to the holy ceremonies, and they were absolutely great joy. But now we are together through marriage and we are relatives. Obviously I never did a film with him, and of course we used to meet. And I remember that the first time I was able to enter the cottage was, we had, there was some celebration because a minister was coming to RK Studios. So we were all gathered in the lawn outside floor number 1. And then he came and we all met, and Rajji came and met him. And then Rajji said to this minister, I think we'll go and sit separately. And they were walking towards the cottage, and he just turned and said, Amitabh, you come? So I was, shocked, invited me. So just three of us entering this cottage. I entered for the first time. And for the first time, I saw this room of his where all his genius apparently came out from. There's just a very low masnad that is there, and nothing else.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised. All white, and a very low masnad. And he used to just sit down on the floor. And then he said to the minister, I would like you to meet Amitabh. He is the tallest in our industry. And I know what he meant, but I said, yes, sir, but only in height. And these are some of the moments that you always remember.
Will you ever let anybody make a biopic on you?
No.
And will you ever...
It would be the most boring biopic.
But what if, like, are there some classified files that you open about your life?
There are some what?
There are some classified files about your life, about, you as a person, about certain incidents. Would you ever let the world see that?
But there is nothing.
Nothing?
No.
How's that possible?
And if there are people that, wish to write about it, they are most free to do so.
But they can't, right? Unless
I can't use that.
No, but unless they have your permission, they won't be able to make a film, a biopic on your life.
No, I would never allow that.
You wouldn't allow it?
No.
Would you ever write an autobiography?
Never going to do that.
Never. Would you see your blogs in a way, is that?
It's just an occupational hazard for me now. Because if I don't write that blog, I get 1,000 people down my throat. Where the heck are you? Why haven't you come on? Have you gone to sleep? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten to press the right button? All this thing keeps coming on SMS, on internet to me, and I have to respond to it. So even if it's 2, 3, 4, whatever, I sit down and write it. But autobiographies are horrid.
So you wouldn't allow anybody to make an autobiography about you?
There is nothing to make. I mean, there are people, they've written books and stuff and articles and all kinds of things.
Right.
But that's not me.
Have you ever done a biopic?
No.
You've never enacted any real person's life?
No.
Do you still enjoy, because now after when a film's released and you get so many messages and now because of social media people are also interacting with you, do you enjoy the praise or you feel like I've heard it now?
No. I store every one of them. Because soon enough when you're unable to walk and you're in this, this typical rocking chair that they call, I wish to go there and read them. Yours will be there.
Yeah, but you'll need another lifetime to read everything. No? How will you finish it?
No. It's not that. It's good to keep visiting it. I think, technology today has made it very accessible. It's all on just one little computer and you just press a few buttons and everything comes down. You can pick and choose, what you want to listen to or what you want to hear and read. But I think it's, sometimes it's quite invigorating to be able to read a praise that may have come at the time when you did a performance, but go back several years and then read it. It's like opening an old file where some of your childhood photographs, letters that you wrote to your parents, or your parents wrote to you. It's lovely to just go through them.
Is there one significant moment that you'd like to share with us, that you and your father shared, that we'd love to know about?
There are many incidents, and my father's life has been a most amazing existence. But if there's any one incident you want to know, is one that I've often spoken of. I was in boarding school in Sherwood, in Nainital, and I was fond of theatre. I used to work on stage. I'd won the Best Acting Cup in 1 year, just prior to Senior Cambridge, which was the final year of school. And the next year, I was again in the school play, and the kind of role that I had and the expectation from everyone was that I was obviously going to win the cup again. But on the eve of the play, I got measles and I fell ill, and I was hospitalized and wasn't allowed to perform on stage, and this was devastating. You're 12, 13, 14 years old, and it's Founders Week, and parents come and visit you, and people come, and it's it's a great atmosphere, and you have the school play, and you're going to come up there and perform, and your parents whom you haven't met for 6-7 months have come all the way from home to watch you, and that one moment of glory that you were about to be presenting to them has been snatched away by this illness. So you are devastated. And so I was in hospital, and our school was on a hillside, so our hospital building was here somewhere, and lower down was the playing field, and at the edge of the playing field was our hall, Millman Hall, where all our plays and meetings used to be held. And so from this position I could actually see and hear what was happening in the hall, because in the mountains sound travels really fast. And I was broken absolutely. But the moment the play started, my father actually came up, because he was there to attend the Founders Week celebrations, and he came and sat with me throughout the duration of the play next to me, and just kept talking to me to keep my mind away from that, and gave me one of the most important and valuable lessons of my life, which was that agar tumhare man ka ho to acha, agar tumhare man ka na ho to zyada acha. So I never understood this, I was annoyed. I said, how can you say this? I wanted to act in that play, and you are saying ki nahi hua to zyada acha hua. So he said, no, agar tumhare man ka nahi hua hai to wo bhagwan ke man ka hua hai, aur bhagwan jo hai वो तुम्हारे लिए कभी बुरा नहीं चाहेंगे, इसलिए वो ज़्यादा अच्छा है. And I find that I tend to use this with my kids when I want to explain to them something, if there's a failure in their life, or if there's a failure in my life, or if there's a failure in a friend's life, I tell them, maybe it's for the good.
बाबूजी ने हमारा हर जन्म दिवस पे कुछ न कुछ हमारे लिए लिखते थे, और वो जन्मदिन के उसी परिचय को लेकर के. पर वो एक गीत गाया करते थे जिसके दो ही बोल अच्छे हैं कि वर्ष नव हर्ष नव जीवन उत्कर्ष नव, नवल चाह नवल राह जीवन में नव उत्साह, इस तरह की कविताएं वो लिखते थे, और इसी को हम लोग अपने जन्मदिन के दिन गाया करते थे या सुनाया करते थे. माता जी सिख परिवार से थी. उनकी पैदाइश लालपुर, जो कि अब पाकिस्तान में है. उनकी शिक्षा लाहौर में हुई. हमारे जो नाना थे वो बहुत ही प्रख्यात एक वकील थे, बार एट लॉ थे उस ज़माने में, रेवेन्यू मिनिस्टर थे उस ज़माने के पंजाब में, जो कि अब पाकिस्तान में है. और हमारी जो नानी थी वो सोडी परिवार से थी, और सोडी परिवार जो है वो गुरुद्वारों से संबंधित. आनंदपुर साहब गुरुद्वारा जो है उसके जो प्रबंधक होते हैं वो सोडी परिवार सदियों से करे आए हैं. तो यहाँ से वो उनकी पैदाइश और उनका जीवन शुरू हुआ. बाबूजी से उनकी मुलाकात हुई और ब्याह हुआ, और वो हमेशा एक वेस्टर्न बैकग्राउंड से ज़्यादा प्रभावित थी, क्योंकि उस ज़माने में वो ऐसी उनकी घर की परिस्थितियाँ थी. बाबूजी बहुत ज़्यादा ईस्टर्न. तो हमें सौभाग्य मिला इन दोनों के मिश्रण का. बहुत ही प्रबल थी वो अपने सोच विचार में, बहुत ही प्रोटेक्टिव थी.
मैंने हमेशा माना है कि मोहनलाल जी हमारे देश के सबसे प्रख्यात कलाकारों में से हैं. उनकी कला क्षमता जो है उसमें कोई दो राय नहीं हो सकती. बहुत सी मैंने उनकी फिल्में देखी हैं, और बहुत ही असाधारण तरीके से वो बहुत ही ऊंची बात कर जाते हैं. चाहे उनका फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन हो या उसको परफॉर्मेंस का हो, वो देखने में बड़े एक आम इंसान की तरह लगते हैं, लेकिन जब पर्दे पे वो अपना वो काम दिखाते हैं तो अद्भुत है. और मैं उनको बड़ा मानता हूँ एक कलाकार की हैसियत से. तो जाहिर है कि उनके साथ काम करके मुझे बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई, और ख़ास तौर से इस तरह के एक रोल में जहाँ पर वो मेरे साथ ही नहीं बट जिनके खिलाफ मैं काम कर रहा हूँ. तो कहीं ना कहीं बुरा भी लगता है कि जिनको मैं एडमायर करता हूँ या जिनकी प्रशंसा करता हूँ, जिनको मैंने अपने दिल में बहुत नज़दीक रखा हुआ है कलाकार की हैसियत से, उनको मैं मारूं पीटूं तो वो अच्छा नहीं लगता है. लेकिन क्योंकि ये किरदार ऐसा था और उसको ऐसा करना है, इसलिए हमें करना पड़ा. बहुत ही अद्भुत कलाकार, बहुत ही नेक इंसान. और मैंने हमेशा माना है, देखिए कि दक्षिण भारत की जितनी भी फिल्म इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनके अंदर जो अनुशासन है और जो संयम है वो हमारे नॉर्थ की इंडस्ट्री में नहीं है, दुर्भाग्यवश.
धीरे धीरे यहाँ भी परिवर्तन आ रहा है, चीज़ें बदल रही हैं, लेकिन वहाँ पर एक संयम और एक अनुशासन, एक डिसिप्लिन जो वहाँ का है वो बहुत ही अच्छा है। और मैं वो बड़ा आकर्षक एक उनका एक ये पहलू है, बहुत ही संभले हुए, सीधे, क्रिएटिविटी को, जो क्रिएटिव लोग हैं, डायरेक्टर्स को, प्रोडक्शन वैल्यूज़ को, समय के आभास को समझना और उसको एक रिस्पेक्टेबिलिटी देना, उसके लिए उनके मन के अंदर एक आदर पैदा करना, ये सब कुछ वहाँ पर है।
आप शायद ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि जो लोग एक तरह की ख्याति या एक मुकाम पे पहुंच जाते हैं, एक तरह की ख्याति प्राप्त करते हैं, उसमें से क्या ऐसी चीज है जिसे आप नापसंद करते हैं?
बिल्कुल।
और मुझे कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं लगती। अगर हमारा जो व्यवसाय, हमारा जो कार्य है वो जनता के लिए है और जनता का स्नेह और प्यार मिलता है तो हमें अच्छा लगता है। ऐसा समझना कि हम लोग उससे अनभिज्ञ हैं या हम उसके साथ जुड़ना नहीं चाहते, ये बहुत गलत बात है। हम सब के सब चाहते हैं कि हमारा आदर हो, हमारा मान हो, हमारा सम्मान हो, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग हमें देखने आएँ, हमारी प्रशंसा करें। हर क्रिएटिव आदमी के लिए ये एक बहुत ही आम चीज़ होती है कि वो चाहे कि उसकी प्रशंसा हो और उसका जो काम किया उसकी प्रशंसा हो। ये हमें प्रोत्साहित करता है कि हम और आगे बढ़ें और अच्छा नेक काम करें। तो ऐसा समझना कि यही चीज़ जो है सारी ज़िंदगी हम लोग इसी में लगा देते हैं कि लोग हमारी तरफ देखें, हमारी तरफ आकर्षित हों, हमारे काम को देखें, हमारे काम की प्रशंसा करें। और फिर जिस मकाम पे हम, ऐसा कह रहे, मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, अगर यदि हम किसी मकाम पे पहुंच गए फिर कहें नहीं साहब मुझे यहाँ जाना ठीक नहीं लगता, या ये मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, या ये कैमरामैन क्यों हमारे नाक के सामने खड़ा हो जाता है, या ये इस तरह के प्रश्न क्यों पूछते हैं, या ये जनता हमसे ऐसे क्यों बात करती, ये ठीक नहीं है। ये जनता का अधिकार है, आपका भी अधिकार है और मेरा भी अधिकार है।
अमित जी, आपकी खुद परवरिश एक मिडिल क्लास परिवार में हुई है, तो जाहिर है आपको वैल्यूज वो मिली हैं। आज की तारीख में भी आप, भले मैं आपको मिडिल क्लास नहीं मानूंगा या एक बहुत बड़ी संख्या में लोग आपको नहीं मानेंगे, लेकिन बात विचार और ख्यालों की है, तो उस तहत आज जो मिडिल क्लास है वो बेहद परेशान है या गुस्से में है, और कहीं ना कहीं उसके जहन में ये भी रहता है क्योंकि उसकी जिंदगी EMIs पर टिकी हुई है, बॉर्डर लाइन पे वो चल रहा है। तो आपको लगता है कि इन ख्यालों को, ये जो नाराजगी है, ये काफी हद तक सही है?
पहली बात तो यह है कि हाँ, मैं मध्यम वर्ग से का एक शख्सियत है मेरी, और मैंने अपने समस्त जीवन में जो अब तक मैं जिया हूं, मैंने कभी ये नहीं माना है कि मेरी जो श्रेणी है वो अब बढ़ गई है। घटी जरूर हो तो ये शायद क्या मालूम, लेकिन मैं अपने आप को वही समझता हूं। दूसरी बात यह कि देखिए, सबकी एक इच्छाएं रहती हैं हर वर्ग में। जो अमीर वर्ग है वो चाहता है कि और अमीर हो, और उसका वो धंधा है वो करता है, और ऐसा सोचने में उसकी भी बुराई नहीं है। मध्यम वर्ग है वो कहता है कि हमें अब एक अवसर मिला है आगे बढ़ने का, और मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि देश के अंदर जो भी इकोनॉमिक रेवोल्यूशन आया है 1990 के बाद, उससे ये मध्यम वर्ग जो है वो बढ़ा है और बहुत सारी उपलब्धियां इनको प्राप्त हुई हैं, और अच्छा है देश के लिए।